Welcome to Sacred Success Salon, where we are speaking with our wonderful experts about the times we are in, how to lead and thrive, and how to prepare and allow yourself to birth the solutions, to channel, to create the solutions for the new earth. We are an amazing time. This is the time for us. I am your host, Anna Kowalska, and today I am so excited to welcome back to the salon, Tracy L. Clark. Welcome, Tracy.
Oh, I'm so thrilled to be here because the world is changing. You and I were just talking about that. So I think
Mhm.
everybody listening, you're all in for a good treat today.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And you are right at the edge of everything that's happening. You are definitely one of those people who knows what's going on, who sees it, senses it, knows it in ways that one can only hope to know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and leading and guiding people. So let's start there. Let me just say a couple words about you. So those that audience that may not have not known you before knows who you are. Tracy is high performance energy coach. She's a founder and a creator of TLC Academy of Extraordinary Living. I love it. She's also, I didn't know this, congratulations, selected as a top energy healer of the year for 2024 by the International Association of Top Professionals. Congratulations. That's a
Thank
wonderful
you.
accomplishment.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Mhm.
Yes, I know. It was quite an honor and a surprise at the same time. So, and I think this is I always say, going from adversity to authenticity. And during adversity, which is going in the world, there's so many beautiful things that are unfolding. And
Yeah.
that's where people have to focus on. It's the way we're going to get through these next few months and year for sure.
Yeah. So, what is it that is opening up for you, Tracy? I love that you just said that. Let's dig deeper into it.
Yeah.
Adversity to authenticity. It's a
Yeah.
slogan right there.
Right there, right? It is. I know I use it a lot because we go through, like, authenticity is one of our highest vibrations. A lot of people know that. They think it's
Mhm.
love, but it's really authenticity. And they've measured it. People can go find that. But being true to yourself, and really have your authentic self, which changes a lot.
Mhm.
Your truth will change. And we have to go through the adversity. We have to go through the challenges and the changes to become even more of who we are and to show up in our truth each and every day,
Mhm.
which isn't always easy depending on, right, the environments you're in. And especially now because we are watching so many changes in the world and they're scary for people, but we have to dismantle the old. And to dismantle the old, we all know in any of our lives and all the things and challenges we've gone through, that is not easy, but it can be a blessing if you're focusing on where the end goal is of that change. We're always going to have change. It's never going to just be, and we know that, and change is constant.
Mhm.
But again, it can be very challenging. And right now, people, we are going through challenging times. All our
Yeah.
systems as we know it are changing.
Yeah.
And, but we can't just sit back and look and watch and wait. We need to also be a participant in our
Yeah.
life. And that's where people forget that they need to participate, which means you're going to
Mhm.
have to go through the challenge to really get to your truth and to know that it's okay that your truth is going to change. The more information that you take in and you go, that resonates with me. That's who I am.
Mhm.
You're going to change your people, the places, the things, they're all going to change. And
Yeah.
it's a blessing. A lot of people look at it as, I don't want to go through that. It's my comfort, but it's a big blessing. And this next year and a half, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Change. Yeah.
So amazing that you're speaking to that, Tracy, because it's been my experience every single time I become aware of something that resonates, that's new,
Hmm.
my perspective changes. And
Yeah.
that means that, I mean, I see this in my business quite often recently, that it's like, oh, okay, this is where I am going. Like, this is my next action step. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden, something opens up. And as soon as I say, this is the direction, it shifts.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, yeah, spirit has something different for you. You're like, oh my gosh. And I know that's a big thing happening right now. I say to people, stay open to everything and judge nothing. It's one of my favorite sayings because
Mm,
if we get stuck saying that it has to be this way, because we know two things, it's never on our time and it's never going to be the way we think. Right. So if we get out of our way,
yeah.
like you said, and I think that's where a lot of people are frustrated right now. And I see it where they're going, well, wait a minute. I want it to be this way. This thing that maybe you're working on, a business or maybe a relationship. Oh, it's not moving the way I think. Well, take a step back and ask
Mhm.
spirit, like, what needs to happen, and watch the signs so you can become more in alignment to where the new energy is and where it's going. We all can get stuck in our old ways, even with energy and what we think and perceive. And then you see something new and you're like, oh my gosh, like what's happening? And spirit right now is all over. Like, it's funny. I'm seeing the orbs constantly the same color as your shirt, right? Which
Mm.
a lot of times people know the blue orbs are spirit, really, they're your main guides screaming at you, right? Going, you're on the right track. Here we are. The world is moving through. And so into the direction we know it needs to go. So people have to remember that sometimes we just got to step back and say, okay, show me a different way so we can be in alignment. And that can be a scary place because you got to take a leap of faith.
Yes, you got to take a leap of faith and you have to trust yourself. That is it something that you are noticing too, because it's this whole thing of authenticity, right? And
Yeah.
there is a huge aspect of trust. And as things are changing, it's not even in trusting that things will work out, they will, but trusting myself that I, within me, can move through it.
Yeah. Yeah. And knowing that you have the skills and the right people will show up, and everybody has the tools. They're already inside of us, right? We have them. But when you start to trust more, they awaken. And that's that aha moment. You're like, wait a minute, that person said this. Let me try it. And you try it and you start to realize that it actually does work, or you feel better, or you feel more in alignment with it. And that's we Spirit shows it like this, and they're giving me this image right now. We almost have to, we're in a place where it's very dark, and you got to feel around like this, you feel around. But the reason they're showing it, not dark, like heavy, oh, the world's going to blow up, apocalypse. We're not talking that. That's not going to happen. But I'm not saying there's not things, but that's not going to happen. So, but when you're in the dark, what are you doing? You're feeling around and trusting where your next steps are. And that's where they're showing very clearly that we need to use our sensory systems and really trust in that inner guidance like never before, which means I always say, you got to know. And if you say to yourself, I know this is going to happen, but not get caught up in the how. If you go, I don't know, doubt, there's some inner work to do. Yeah. You're not trusting.
Oh, this is so beautiful. I know it's going to happen. I don't have to know how or exactly even when, but I know it's going to. I feel it and I'm going to trust it.
Yeah. And you can feel it at the core. Like you can feel it. I was teaching this recently with someone, and here's a really simple, funny example for people because life's changing. 18 years ago, I was gifted the two most beautiful dresses. Never had anywhere to wear them. But 18 years ago, I said, one day I'm going to wear these dresses. One day. But I'm going to wear it with somebody to a gala that I want to be with. And every year I put on the dress, and some years they fit, some years they didn't. No gala showed up, and nothing showed up. So, 18 years later, now the gala showed up. The dress fits perfectly. My boyfriend's there. We're going. Like, it was all divine, perfect. And when I looked back, either the dress didn't fit, the right person wasn't there. It's like all this stuff. So I said, this isn't, but there wasn't, I'll tell you, as simple as and crazy as that sounds, I just knew, like 18 years, come on, that's a long time to keep a dress, right?
Yes.
But it's a long time. I thought of getting rid of it, and everything in me is like, no, this is happening. Keep the dress.
Yeah.
Keep the dress. So it can be simple things, but there was nothing in me that said it wasn't going to happen. And when you start doing this in other areas of your life, watch how much will unfold. If you know that the world is going to come out of this better and you start feeling it, that energy is going to be transferred to other people where they're going to know it. And then watch how quickly we can transition out of what's happening in the world. Because as much as people want to say doom and gloom, I always see a lot of intervention where people are like, wow, I don't know how, but I see this intervention. It comes in like this, and we take a different course where it's almost like there's a celebration of like, wow, look what's happening. And the light will shine in a different way.
You just got chills.
Yeah, gotta know.
And that's what's going to, let's talk to the people right now who are sitting on something, a solution where they got a glimpse of it. And they're like, I know there is something, I just don't know what it is or the whole thing, but I feel like I am a part of what's going on. What would you say to them?
if they have something that they feel, okay, there's some things you can have a knowing that something's changing, or maybe you have a knowing you want to create something.
Mhm.
I always say, and it's funny because people don't talk this way, but I'm like, you can thank God, universe, divine spirit, whatever you say. I always say, thank you, God. Show me the truth about what's inside me that needs to be birthed right now.
Mm.
Show me
So
the
good.
truth about what's inside me that needs to be birthed right now. And when you ask it that way, you'll start to see the signs. You'll start to hear things and you'll be like, I know what's happening. And if you already have something you want to birth, then it's like, truthfully, I'm ready to birth this. I
Mhm.
am ready and willing now to birth this. What happens with those words, and I sort of like pull the energy through my midline, is because when you pull that down, you're pulling the energy through and watch, you'll then be going, what's my next baby step? Ask spirit,
Mm.
because then what will happen is you're going to probably wake up. A lot of people say, oh, I woke up in the middle of the night, and you're going to know that it's time for you to step into that action. Because a lot of times right now, people are like, how do I contribute to what's going on?
Yeah.
Start spreading more kindness, start
Yeah.
spreading more gratitude, start
Mhm.
helping people that you notice are having questions, but they don't know what you know. So
Yes.
everybody listening to this, every one of them has a knowing, a wisdom, and a knowledge. So again, like we were saying before, everyone has to start looking at themselves now as the lifeguards. And we were
Mhm.
saying this before air, they're the
Yeah.
lifeguards.
Yeah.
So you're not going to let them drag you down, but you can now throw them a line.
Mhm.
You can now teach what you've learned. And people say, well, it doesn't have to be a business, guys. It's like, what wisdom do you have to be able to pass to someone else so that baton can be passed and keep paying it forward?
Yeah.
That long way, a long
Mm.
way. But asking
Yeah.
those questions will change. Yeah.
I gotta share a quick story with you in alignment with what we just shared. A few weeks ago, I was questioning, I'm like, is this really the direction where I'm going? And my whole work has been around helping people birth what's in them in the world, and it looks like a certain way.
Yeah.
And I was walking my dog. I've lived here for 6 years. I was walking my dog one block over. There was one house, and I know all my neighbors. We all have dogs. We have block parties. I live in this kind of neighborhood.
Yeah.
This woman runs out. It's middle of the day, like a lunch break, I guess. She runs out, pets my dog, all joyful, all happy, pets my dog. I've never seen her before. And she, as she is running, pets my dog, hi, bye. And then she runs into the car and she's like, well, next lifetime, I'm going to come back as a dog. And I said to her, if you come back as my dog, he has a great life, but I don't know if I'd want that. Some dogs live on a street. She goes, still a better life than having to make a living. And and I'm like, and she got in a car and drove away.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, thank you. Because the whole entire underpinnings is like, there is something you're here to create. You're not here to make a living. You're here to contribute. Yes, you get to get paid for it, but you get to do something that you love. You don't have to love it every moment, but you don't walk through life saying, I got to make a living and I want to be a dog on a street. I'd rather be a dog on a street,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that to me, and I knew immediately, I'm like, I've never seen this woman. I've never seen her since.
Wow.
I really don't know if she lives there. I asked my partner, we live together. He's lived here for 20 years. Do you know who lives in that house? He goes, I don't know that I've ever seen anybody. Somebody's got to live there.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
to your point, it's when we do ask, but then trust it, right? Like I didn't walk away and said, oh, crazy woman. I said, thank you. I didn't say it to her. I said
Yeah.
to the energy,
Yeah.
God's spirit. Thank you. I'm like, I'm good. You don't have to show me anymore. That's good enough for me, right? So believing it and trusting it, and it's so powerful. It's an amazing support tool. Ask.
It
Yeah.
is. And when we do, it's a simple one that everyone can use right now. But
Yeah.
how many times, like when I'll say to someone, did you do that? I'll like, no. Okay. Well, just start there. Because if we don't show up, and spirit's always looking for us to show up. I say
Yeah.
this to people. Imagine spirit is, if you're not talking to them, they're sitting there having coffee bored. So all
Yeah.
your guys, they're bored. They're just having coffee. They're like, okay, here I am, bored again, waiting for them to ask me and to show, because they like to be busy. Your spirit team likes to be busy. You know, that God of your understanding wants to put things into your lap, but you
Yeah.
got to ask. You
Yeah.
got to ask. And
Yeah.
learn how to ask even more and then spread that wisdom on so
Mhm.
we can change the world at light speed.
Yeah. Oh, this is so great. So the angle to asking that you are bringing forth that I really appreciate is people most of the time ask from a place of, is it okay to ask? Oh, what's the least of an effort for you? What's the least of a pain for me? It's this like shrinking asking, almost like begging from a place of, throw me a bone.
Yeah, no, you know what I always say to people? It's like, thank you, God, show me the truth about this, and I expect this to happen now. That's how I
Yeah.
teach people to ask. And they're like, what? But that's I said, no, no, no. You ask. It's an old saying. Everyone knows it. Ask, you shall receive. Doubt, you go without. So
Mm-hmm.
stop doubting. And it's your life and it's your team. And just say, show me the truth about this. Align this. I expect that's the knowing. I expect this to happen. I don't know when, but I expect it. And I expect it in my life. And when
Mm-hmm.
you start coming with that energy, because when you're or you're only asking when you're down in the dumps, the
Yeah.
energy goes like a wet spaghetti noodle.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you got too much doubt. Like, come on. They're looking for strength, looking for conviction.
Yeah.
And that's why in the world, the darker energies have put so much doubt into people. Oh, people, oh, you might leave me if I say it that way. Well, you know what? No, you got to stand up because that's what spirit wants.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
like, that's a whole different conviction that it's happening. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's happening.
Yeah. So powerful. I really am intending that and hoping that people get the power of asking from that place.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
not be afraid of it. Like in your
Mhm.
car, ask all day long and like, "Oh, thank you for that sign and I saw that sign and I was thinking
Mhm.
about this and now I expect you to go get this and now I'd like you to do this and now this is going to show up in my life." Like there's an energy and it comes from the heart, guys. It's not the brain, it's the heart and it's your connection to the source energy that is
Mhm.
literally it's so plentiful. And
Yeah.
that's how we don't get it by sitting at the back of the bus.
Oh, that's a good one. We don't get it by sitting at the back of the bus. Move to the front of the bus and
Mhm.
commend it.
Yeah.
Commend it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
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 Go ahead.
Some people think commanding energy is like, oh, it's so harsh. And I'm like, that's just an old, usually teaching that needs to go. You have a
Yes.
right to command everything into
Yeah.
your life. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's kind of that old little saying they're saying in my ear there, like spirit saying, like, remember, it's like your wish is my command. And
Commend. Yeah.
your wish is my command. So command spirit, because that's what they're here to do.
Yeah.
They're here to guide you and listen to what you want. If you don't ask, then just go have coffee. So next time you stop
Mhm.
asking, you'll remember they're having coffee. Going, I'm so bored. Giving me nothing to do.
You know, I have an image of right now. You know that painting of dogs playing cards and smoking
Yeah.
cigars. I can literally see them sitting around a table, bored, playing cards. They're like, yeah, whatever. Like that's not interesting to them, but that's what they'll do to pass the time with their
Yeah.
coffee steaming.
And people, I've seen so many people that I've worked with that they come and I'm like, you don't even talk to your team, do you? No. And I'm like, they are so bored. Like they're happy you're here because you're going to start working with
Yeah.
them. And it's something that if we learned as little children, we totally
Yeah.
different places. Yeah.
You know what's coming through is that's just another layer of scarcity that
For
we
sure.
were taught, right? Like only ask God for the things that are really like of a certain vibration. Like we can never ask God to find a pair of shoes or my lost keys. We only can ask for the healing of a loved one that's at the end,
Yeah.
on a dying bed. Like it's the
Yeah.
scarcity that we've been taught, right? Like
Yeah.
only for special occasions should you go and ask, and
Yeah.
it has to be done in a certain way. But I love when you said, yeah, drive in a car and just ask in a car. I mean, you mean you're just driving?
Mhm. Oh, yeah, all day long. I go for a walk with my dog and I'm asking, I'm having conversations with spirit. Like sometimes I realize I'm talking out loud. I'm like, oh, they're gonna think I'm a crazy lady, but I'm like, ah, whatever. Who cares? I'm like, oh, I was just saying that out loud. But it makes it fun as well, and it allows more joy during these times. And you and I were saying this earlier,
Mhm.
because when we want to burst something in the world, we need to birth it not from scarcity or lack. People, everybody listening, you want to always birth from joy. And when you
Mm.
have the joy and the authenticity and the love, they all go together. But when you have the joy, then it's like that excitement. Like Remember when you first meet someone and you fall in love and there's that like, oh, like here I am with the stars around my head. Like when you have that energy, but that's creation energy too.
Yeah.
Don't get caught up in where it went. That energy is the joy, unstoppable. Like, it's that
Mhm.
energy when you first meet someone. Tune into when you guys did that and you could do anything. And
Yeah.
someone could, cut you off and swear at you and yell at you. And you're so in love. You're like, I don't care. I'm going to keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Take that energy and apply it to every other part of your life and watch how we can change the trajectory much
Mhm.
quicker, because I'm already seeing it on the planet of where we are, which is going to
Yeah.
help us. And we know during these times, changing times, there's loss, there's things moving,
Mhm.
but everybody listening has a gift or they wouldn't be here, has
Yeah.
something to contribute or they wouldn't be listening to this right now. But take that beautiful energy and watch how it will shift your life almost overnight.
Wow. And then shift the lives of people you are here to serve. So again, you brought up something so beautiful, Tracy. When we are birthing, it's birthing in the energy of joy and authenticity and abundance, right? Like life is born. I mean, look at the little baby. It's born with like in this like abundance of everything. It's plumpy. It's it's.
But it's also, I like teaching this. I say to people, when the baby is being born, there's no doctor sewing on the hand or the foot or whatever, right? Like
Yeah.
the baby is just figuring itself out how it knows
Yeah.
exactly what to do with the mom.
Yeah.
But then the baby's born and everyone's like, oh, miracle, miracle. And then you've had a month of night sleep. So it's not a miracle. I'm like, no, we have to stay in the
Yeah.
miracle.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. It's beautiful when you look at that new baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people are always in awe, because you're like, nobody did it. We just had to get up, go to sleep and feed, right? Like,
Yeah.
and it just came out beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, wow. Okay, you're taking us on such a beautiful trajectory, Tracy. Every single time you bring in something, I'm like, oh, this is a point. It's such a powerful thing that I want to pull forward. A month later, you birthed it, because at the beginning, this is true. Tell me if this is not true for you. When
Yep.
people get into my programs at the beginning, oh my God, it's exciting. And then halfway through, where is everybody? Like, people show up.
Oh, yeah. You're preaching to the choir. I see this all the time.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We tend to do it with a lot of things in life. The
Yes.
energy that it comes with, we kind of expect it to be there, and we are not feeding it as in showing up. We just expect it, because when it first comes, it comes with this beautiful, powerful excitement, newness, like you just said. When you're in love, it's new. You don't know what to expect, and you are curious, and it's interesting. Everything is better. And then all of a sudden, the challenge comes in and the friction comes in, right? And we tend to just be like, wait, what? And consciously or unconsciously begin to pull away.
Yeah.
And I think that to that point where we are right now, we need those of us watching right now, all of us, to generate that excitement and that passion for what we are creating, because the energy of the new, like we talked about new earth for a long time, but I started talking about it when COVID started, like in the salon.
Yeah.
I am getting bored of talking about it. I'm like, this is the same thing we told you 3 years ago. But the things are very much still in the motion. We get to stay excited about what we are creating.
Yeah. But it's true, because people will get like, it's an excitement, it's new, and you use your tools every day. I use my tools every day, decades of doing them. You don't always use your hammer every day. Sometimes you use a screwdriver. We take our tools in and out of our box, right? But that's where the real dedication to creating something new comes in. That's why businesses fail. People, you got to be going when it's yucky, or marriages fail. You got to be going when it's yucky. You got to have communication and talking and use your tools. So yeah, it's excitement, but that's also how there's been this really weird design in the world on purpose to keep people distracted, the shiny penny, or, now people want everything in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Like, look at TikTok, you do anything over 2 minutes, they're like, I'm out, but it's because it's this whiplash effect, because that's not how we get change. We don't get change. So if they come and they keep showing up, there's an energy actually that spirit notices. And this is something people forget. And I always remind them. It's when you go down, that's where spirit looks and says two things. Are you reacting differently, or are you just going to give up and walk away? If you react to the situation differently than you did before, you know you're changing, and you're going to actually get more energy out of it and more leverage and milestones out of it.
So good.
So it's so important to understand if you truly want change, that's when the test comes in, not when it's all new and shiny. The test of that change comes in after you've actually, settled into whatever whether it's a relationship or a program or whatever you're doing. But also what will happen, the reason they pull back, so I hope people will understand this, is you pull back and you kind of go, oh, okay, I got enough, because that's the breaking point of change. You've hit a trigger. You've hit
Yeah.
a point in your body where now you got to get uncomfortable. And that's where you see people start to back out. And that's why and so if you can recognize that, then you keep going. So sometimes I call it like new devil, new level, because when
Yeah.
you're going to a new level, then all the distractions and interference come in to go, I think I like you comfortable over here. Don't change, because now your friends are going to change. Maybe some of your family's going to go away. You're going to change your job, your career. You're going to do things differently. And that's scary. So it's my joke. I said, joke about it, laugh with it, go new devil, new level. I'm just going to a new level. So I have to get through this complacency.
Yeah. That is so powerful. And for anybody who has been on a journey that's watching us right now, and it's like, yeah, I've been doing the work and maybe, things are not where I want them to be or think they should be, or I want things to be different. You might just be going, or like, I feel not even stuck, but stagnant. I feel like I should change the direction. Maybe, but it also could be that place of test of how committed are you to what you said you want to create.
Well, and also because the way the world is changing right now, and when you have new ideas, look at it like your closet. You can't bring in another shirt if you have no more closet space to hang the shirt. So if you're not willing, I see this. People tell me, oh, I want a new relationship. I'm like, you got to get rid of the relationship you're in first.
Right?
Right? I'm like, not going to happen. And then they're like, this new relationship's ever showing up because I got to get out of that one. Or they're like, I want a new job. Did you apply? Did you let people know? Sometimes you're going to quit your job. No, I can't do that. So if you don't make space, spirit can't bring something new. And that's scary. I get it. You've been there. I've been there, but we got to make space. And for the world right now, we're making a lot of space.
Yeah.
We're changing our financial paradigms. We're changing how we work in communities. We're changing how we look at each other. We're changing political systems. We're changing medical systems. We're changing everything.
Everything.
Because what we're going to is the new that's already been created. So the new is coming through the birth canal and the pains. Everyone's a giving baby. You're like, oh my God. And someone tells you that giving birth, you forget about it. I don't know. My kids are 29, 26. I haven't forgotten
Still
about
remember
that whatsoever. I still remember. I'm not having any more kids. I said the other day, baby machine closed, too old. But it's the birth canal, and we're going through the birth canal, and it's pushing out all the old so the new can come in. But our lives do the same thing.
Yeah.
Our lives do the same thing. So we're doing it now together. Our lives are shifting so we can go to something new, and the world at the same time. So that's why when people say, why is it so exciting time to be alive? Because we're all birthing for once together.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Big chills.
Yeah.
Really beautiful.
People listening, like, get birthing. What do you want to birth? Ask yourself, what do you want to birth in your life? And at all costs, I'm going to say for anyone listening, all costs. You got to say to yourself, I'm worth it at all costs.
Yeah.
I'm going to birth this.
Yeah. At all costs. Oh my gosh. I have so many quotables from this conversation.
So fun. Spirit has so much to say today. I'm like, okay.
And we are so grateful. We take it, we receive it. Thank you.
We love it. Yeah.
Oh, we do love it. Tracy, I know you have a gift. I can keep talking to you and I'm like, oh,
I know.
I know you have a gift.
I do. It's actually a chapter from my book, Are You? It's Me. I read it. So there's some, practical things in there as well. But a lot of people know they work with me. It's actually the tone of my voice, which has been measured on my hands. So it is actually, if you listen to a lot of people will say to me, oh, I got shifts. So the chapter is The Mind is a Virus. And right now, it's so important that people understand how we got to get out of the mind into the heart to move to authenticity so we can create. So it's practical, it's simple, but you'll get the shift too from listening to my voice. Yeah.
So exciting. Oh, so make sure you claim the gift. It's the button below this video. Claim the chapter, tune into Tracy's voice, and allow yourself to receive whatever is waiting there for you, because I know there is so much that in just even one chapter can open up from what Tracy's sharing in her book. So claim her gift, button below. So exciting, so generous. Oh, thank you,
Aw,
Tracy.
thank you.
I love having you in the salon. Cannot wait to have you again. Just your
I
wisdom and
know.
your energy. It's
Well, we
amazing.
all have so much fun, and you have so many beautiful speakers. And but you know what? You're birthing something new. When all of us are together, this is like I got chills head to my whole head is like, woo, because and you are birthing something new. You can see it. But this is just helping so many people. I'm so honored to be here because if we can have one of you listening, take that and just make the shift in your life, then we've done what we're asked to do.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here, for your wisdom. Oh, so good. Make sure you
Thank you.
claim Tracy's gift. Click the button below. Here goes my voice. Click the button below. Get into her world, and we'll see you at the next conversation. Bye for now.